Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special episode of For the Love of Books podcast featuring indie and small press authors with Emma Palova. Today, as we reach the halfway point in the NaNoWriMo 50K Word Challenge, I will be talking with Nano expert authors Jean Davis and Vera West to catch up on our progress since we all started on November 1st. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
All right, Jean, how many of your books are nano books and what is your primary genre?
So I write sci-fi and fantasy, and I believe out of the 12, I think 11 are nano books.
11 are nano. Wow.
Yeah, I do most of my writing during nano. I get my drafting done then. So
Okay, cool. Vera, how about you?
Only one of my novels is from is a nano book, just the one. It's actually the third book in a series. So that I wrote out of order.
All right. So what are your titles of your most recent nano books? Whoever wants to go first. The title of your most recent nano book.
I wrote Spindlekin last year during nano, and that is the most recent one I published. I also wrote Seeker, which is the last book in my Narvan series, as part of last year's nano as well. I kind of finished that one up. So both of those were worked on during last year's nano, and both are now published. So yay.
Yay. Vera?
You know, now that I think about it, I did try to do some camp nano stuff. And I think last year I was working on a book, but I didn't finish it I didn't even get close to finishing it during nano. So I guess truly my most recent one would be Turns. It's a romance.
You're right. Okay, and now without further ado, let's get to the writing challenge. Some call it brutal. What is your take on it? Is this challenge brutal?
I don't think so.
I think it's brutal.
Over and over again. That is brutal. So who thinks it's brutal? No,
Not me. No.
I think it's brutal.
I do too. I think it's incredibly brutal.
Yeah, I'm definitely having a harder time with it than I'm actually doing better than I have in past years, but I'm struggling. It's very hard for me to keep up. And I think I'm about 10,000 words behind already. So
Okay, that was the next question.
all right, I'll save that.
Save that for the next question. What is your total word login as of today, November 15, at 5:04 p.m. EST?
I am currently sitting just under 30,000. I got way ahead earlier this month because I knew I had a Comic-Con last weekend where I was gone for 3 days. So I banked a whole bunch of words. So I'm not behind. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yep, I'm at 15,232 to be precise.
Okay, well, that's past your goal, right? You said if you get to 10,000, you will have 10,000 words more than you had before. So that's awesome. You
That's
surpassed
true.
your goal.
That's
I
true.
still remember stuff. All right. Okay, my total login as of today, probably this morning, is 33,175, but I did struggle. I did struggle. I got through the struggle. All right. What is your daily nano writing routine? Whoever wants to go first.
So I typically write through several sessions throughout the day. And my most prolific writing time is honestly about somewhere between 2 and 4 a.m. I don't sleep a full shift at night. So I get up to let my dogs out. And then when I get up, I'm awake. So I sit down and use that time productively and usually get a bunch of words done. Some usually about 1,000 to 2,000 words at night, and then go back to bed. So yeah. And then I sometimes get up in the morning before work and can get some words in, or at lunchtime or in the evening or before bed. But I don't usually write it all in one chunk.
You look kind of pale.
I have been, Comic-Con took a lot out of me. I had a great time, but it was 3 very long days and a lot of peopling for 3 very long days. So yes.
Where was
Yeah,
it, in
Jean's-
GR or Kalamazoo?
Yes, Grand Rapids Comic Con. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And
Jean's even more impressive because she's got 30,000 words plus, and
30
she's still
plus.
doing book events.
Wow.
I am. Yeah. And I have a
That's-
Comic Con next weekend too.
Yeah.
You should be like turning white, like into a ghost. Okay, Vera, what is your NaNoWriting routine?
So I've been trying to copycat Jean this year and do smaller writing sessions, but I definitely cannot write in the morning like as early as she does. I do tend to stay up pretty late, so most of my writing is between like 8 and midnight, and then sometimes I'll try to write on a break in work if I can, but work has been so demanding that hasn't been possible this week. So
Mhm.
that's kind of not helping because that was how I was I was on schedule in the beginning, and then
Okay.
it slowly drifted away as work started pushing,
Yeah.
more demand. So, but there's still time. So I shouldn't panic. I
No.
should hang in there. I've still been writing every day. There was a couple
Excellent.
of days I missed, but even if it's just 400 words, I'm still writing. And then I'm hoping I'll have like a good cram session and get out a bunch and maybe catch up.
Excellent. I write mainly in the morning, like from 6 on. All right. How is your NaNoWriting routine different from your regular writing routine? Or is
Mine
it the
isn't, which is
same?
why it's not hard for me.
Oh, okay. Yours, Vera, is it the same?
No, so I'm a very much an edit as you go person. And for Nano, I'm deciding I'm not doing that. I am just drafting
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I am just writing. And it's hard because sometimes I'll have to stop, and part of my Nano writing is notes to myself for later because there's just so much going through my mind. I don't want to forget things. And I'm kind of at that phase where I'm figuring out the plot and some plot devices. So, but they might not be in that scene. They might be things I'm realizing that are going to be in future scenes. So I have to make myself little notes, and it's just hard not to want to go back and edit because I
Mhm.
want to make sure I'm being consistent. But now is not the time for consistency. Now
No.
is the time for wild abandon. So I am just
Yes.
trying to force myself to write. And that's
Yes.
hard for me too, because it's so against my normal kind of habits. But
Okay. Can you carry this routine over past November into December and beyond?
I'm hoping to, because I do feel like, so let's see, it's been about 2 weeks and I've done 15,000 words. That's quite a
Mhm.
lot for me.
That
So
is-
I would like to keep that going to kind of get that first draft busted out a little faster, because then maybe I won't get so tired, because the whole process is so exhausting and sometimes the drafting really wears me out, but it might be because I'm going too slow. I'm
Yeah.
thinking I need to
Yeah.
kind of like speed it up so then I can, get to the revision part and feel more encouraged as things like piece together. So I would like to try to keep this drafting habit going forward.
Going forward. Me too. How about you, Jean?
This is what I do all year, so
All the
I'm good.
time.
Yeah. Jean says yes.
Jean says, gosh, I can do it. I can do it like that. All right. Which plotting method did you use and why? Jean or Vera?
Plotting.
Plotting?
Plot. Funny. No, I don't plot anything. So okay, take that back. I was working on my personal project for the first, I'd say until like 2 days ago. And that was my first half of the month. I gave myself permission to just write hilly-nilly on my personal project. And that I did have like 2-sentence descriptions of what the chapters needed to be.
Mhm.
And so I just had fun with those. As of 2 days ago, I've started on working on an actual project that I plan on publishing next year because I want it to be productive. And I'm working on a whole collection of short stories under a horror theme. So I did finish one of those yesterday, and I am working on another one today. And again, there is no plotting. I have a list of like, here's some prompts and go. And that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I like to plot. It's how I figure out a lot of my world building. But then usually my plots evolve as I understand what I want more going on. So it's weird. I am a plotter, but I'm also a pantser in the sense that I have no problem burning down my old plan for something new. But I definitely have to have some kind of a plan to kind of keep me on track of what I want to write, even if it changes. I like to have something. I'm not a huge plotter in the sense I know some people will do 30, 40,000 words just on world building and plotting. I'm more like Jean, where it's just a couple of sentences or maybe a paragraph here and there. I keep it kind of light, but I need to have something to kind of direct me.
Me too. I kind of used the roller coaster method, which is like almost not plotting, right? You just write it. And if I needed to, I had to switch to the beat sheet, either the 9 dot thing or the 15. So I switch back and forth. It depends on that tip on a writing day. Okay, how many words a day did you average during this first half of the challenge? Okay. Words.
I've written anywhere between 161 words a day and 7,000 words a day. So I fluctuate greatly as far as just depends on how much time I have and what I'm on a roll on that day.
Yeah, wow.
I'm averaging just about 1,000.
Okay, I'm averaging about 2,000. Okay, what are you working on as your nano project?
So I had the personal project I worked on the first half of the month, and then now I am working on a horror story collection. And I also have an urban fantasy I'd like to get to, and I have a children's book I'd like to get to. So I have plenty of projects. It's just how much time I have to get to them.
You're juggling it. Whoa. You, Vera?
So I did take Jean's advice, and I have backup projects in case I really freak out and I just need to keep writing. But so far it's been okay. And my main focus has been in urban fantasy that I had started prior to Nano, but my word count, I'm only counting what I've written since November 1st.
Right.
So it's coming along. I had about 18,000 words before we started. And so if you add in the 15, I'm getting there. I'm about halfway.
That's perfect.
So that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm working on. Urban fantasy.
Yep, and I'm working on historical fiction. All right, describe your hardest day so far and why was it so difficult?
So
I've had a few of those.
I had one day that I didn't write anything because I was at Comic-Con from wee hours of the morning till I got home, and say I got home at 8:30 at night. I quick ate, and I had to go to a comedy show that I didn't get home till 11 o'clock at night, in which case I also had a book I had to read for my book club. So I got up in the morning at 3 and read a book, and the whole book, by the way, and went to Comic-Con the next day at 8 a.m. So I had 4 hours of sleep. No writing happened that day. So that was my roughest day.
It sounds very rough.
Yeah, I say for me, my roughest day is when like work demands collide with my writing and personal life. So like let's say maybe my son had a bad day, and then on top of that, work is super demanding. So there was a couple days like that where I just felt so tired. I just couldn't do it. So on those days I didn't, but that was the beginning of the decline. That was when I stopped being on track, was those 2 days, and I've been playing catch up ever since. So I was kind of for even made it even worse, really, because I was frustrated with myself for losing my little tiny bit of being ahead. But I think the most important thing is that I didn't, in the past I may have just stopped because I would get so frustrated.
Right.
But thanks to Jean, she's been pushing me along with those friendly writer nudges. So I'm getting there. I'm just, I'm a slow moving caboose at this point. I'm the slowest one out the pack, but I'm trying.
So how did you pull it back together? I had a few of those days too when I just wanted to say, why do I do this? How did you pull it back together?
I just didn't want to waste the progress that I'd made, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity of this month and of having other people writing at the same time. I find that really encouraging, when we're writing as a group. So I just I just made myself get back in there. I think my husband, like, he went into the man cave and then was checking in on me, asking me if I was writing or not. Kind of like, like, are you still working? Are you working yet? Make sure you're writing. So, between Jean and then my husband and like friends reminding me, and asking for updates, I kind of helped me stay accountable. But it is hard because I was very frustrated and tired, but I really want to use this time to get my book done. So I just kind of held on to that and got it together.
Perfect. How about your easiest day so far? Jean had a few. I saw her racing like
Yes.
6,000.
So I had a couple days. I had a weekend. The first weekend of this month, I had no events, so I could actually sit down for the day and write. And so I've told Vera this. My thing is, if I have a day, I will sit down and I write for 15, 20 minutes, and then I have a half hour, 40 minutes to do whatever I want, and then I sit down and write for another 15 to 20 minutes, and then go do something else. And that really, I mean, you do that all day, you get a lot of words. So I got like 7,000 words one day. And then I had, I think, 5,000 some the other day on the weekend. So I got a really good jump because I knew I was going to have those days with Comic-Cons where I just was not going to have the energy or time to write. So I got that buffer built up. And that's my secret to get through the month, because there's going to be those days where just life gets in the way and you're not going to have time to write.
And you, Vera?
I'm going to try that. I'm going to try doing the 15 minutes and then a break. And then I'm going to see if that helps me maybe catch up. My best day was probably like the first day because I was so hyped. I did like 3,000 words that first day because I started at midnight. I stayed up and started at midnight. And then I was so excited. And then I wrote, I snuck in some work writing, on like my breaks. And then I wrote that night and I was so pumped. And that was probably my best day because I think I did like a little over 3,000 maybe that day. But then sometimes I write a little slower. So that quickly got gobbled up.
Okay.
And that's only a day ahead. Like if you think about it, 3,000 is just like, that's just one day ahead of schedule. Right. So it adds up. It goes away fast if you start missing days or you don't hit the full goal. It just slowly whittles away, and then before you know it,
I had 2 of those, the 3,000 words. Yeah, and I didn't let that fool me.
Yeah, again, I got a little too confident.
Using Jean's experience, what helps you stay focused?
Focus is hard.
Yeah.
I find writing in those small little bursts really helps because then I can like, okay, if I get my 20 minutes done, I can go watch Netflix for half an hour, or I can go check Facebook or do whatever it is that's distracting me. Go fold laundry or whatever it is you have to do. And then you can sit back down and the only time I focus is when I'm sitting here in the middle of the night writing, because there's nobody bothering me and the dog is actually sleeping. So she doesn't want to go out. So that's why that's my most productive time.
Okay, and you, Vera?
So I have this. I think it helps me a lot, but it's kind of. I don't know if it's a cheat, but it's like this distraction-free typewriter, and essentially all you can do on it is write. And it's helped me really like narrow in. I think it's called a free write. I think is what it's called, and so that's been like my secret weapon this year, and it does help because once you get into a groove, it's like you just like zone in on that, and I can't check Twitter. I can't get on Instagram. I have to physically go get my laptop because I usually put it somewhere kind of away. And so then I just kind of get in the mode, and I like to have a little bit of music playing too. Lately it used to just be like any music, but lately it's been the Bridgerton soundtrack. I'm like obsessed with it, or just like covers of songs, but like string quartet covers of songs. I think it's because the melody, but there's no words to really distract me.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. But so the little bit of music and the little free write thing, and I've been just going. I just get in the zone. So that's helped my focus a lot.
All right. Do you have nano buddies, and how are they helping?
I got Vera.
I was gonna say I got Jean. That's really my only nano buddy.
I mean,
Okay.
my daughter's actually writing this year, so we've been texting back and forth with our word counts every
Okay.
day. And then I've got Vera, and then I have my the local region group as well. So I
Mhm.
check in there every now and then and see how everybody's doing and post word counts if I have anything impressive to
Mhm.
to post.
What is your daughter working on this year, genre-wise?
She is working on the plot for a graphic novel. So she has been working on that for years and years and years. And I finally have been coaching her through actually writing the story.
Uh-huh.
So she's been doing the art, but yeah, just actually, she's been doing all the world building and everything, but actually making it the actual plot and story. So she
Yeah.
has that to work with for doing her actual drawings.
That's cool to make it a family thing, right?
Oh yeah, she's been writing with me since she could write. I used to teach or facilitate technically the Young Writers program with the elementary school. So since she was, let's see, my son was in 4th grade when I started doing that. So she was not even in kindergarten yet. And she would come with me. So both my kids have written, my son doesn't write anymore, but they've been writing with me on and off most of the time I've been writing.
I love that. I hope Lincoln, my son, wants to do that.
Nice. Did you have to make any important decisions in your plot during the challenge?
Oh, I have. I did for sure. And it's actually going to kind of cause eventually I'm gonna have to go back and fix some things
Yeah.
because I realized because when you're writing, it's easy to get caught up in the action, but I like to be careful. I understand the why and the motive of like why things are occurring or why the problem exists, because I feel like that makes it more believable if there's a real motive and a real reason. But not just like a magic or a just because, but like a real, like a real reason. So I kind of figured out a major plot point that was nothing I had thought of before, but it just made so much sense because I just keep asking myself, well, why? Why is this character this way? Why did they do this, this specific thing? And so I had a big aha moment. So that's great. But now I just have to make sure it's consistent and I make sure I lead up to it, and so there'll be some extra work, but I don't mind the changes. They just added to my word count.
Yeah. What does it feel like to be halfway through the challenge? Do you feel victorious or just tired?
Mostly just tired, but that's me all the time. I'm glad I'm finally working on something. Talking to all the readers at Comic-Con kind of got me back and like, okay, I need to work on what I'm going to give them next year. So that got me back in the productive writing phase. So I've just been working away, plugging away, doing my thing.
All right. What advice can you give to other RIMOs, maybe to writers who are considering joining us at this halfway point in the challenge? Any advice?
It is still possible to do it. I have seen people come in and write their 50,000 words in 2 or 3 days, or one day if you really are, hell bent on it. So there's no reason why you shouldn't. And again, even if you don't do 50,000 words, if you just join in and get in the social aspect of it and just kind of work on building that writing habit, jump in and do it.
All
yeah,
right.
I think they should. It's exciting. Why not?
It's exciting to be a part of the effort, I think. So what happens next with your project? Once you're done, November 30th, you're done, what happens next with your project?
Depends on which project I'm working on at that time. Hopefully I'll have one of the things I hope to publish wrapped up or mostly wrapped up that I can then start editing and bring it for critique and get feedback and hopefully have it published sometime next spring. So I have something new out there when I go do all my year shows for next year. So yeah.
You, Vera?
I've got to revise, like my life depends on it, because I have this kind of a rare situation where a newer publisher is waiting, they've got a full manuscript request, but I need to have a manuscript to give them. So depending on how that goes, I might, we might not end up working together, but I still want the experience of like, kind of handing it off to someone and getting that feedback. And then it might work out and we might ride off into the sunset together, or I might self-publish it. But either way, I need to really commit to getting it revised and ready to go, because I've spent too long on this one and I got to move on.
Will you do the challenge next year?
Oh yeah,
of course.
I might be a little teary-eyed and soft crying in the background, but I'll be there.
Okay, then we'll all be there
Yeah.
to support each other. All right. Anything else that you can think of on your own without me interrogating you?
Keep writing.
Keep writing. All right, that's
maybe
the
try to
best
relax.
advice, right?
That's my personal mission is I'm trying to relax and not be so worried about if it's really good writing because we can make it good in revision. I just need to write.
Yeah, we all do. Okay, how about your parting shot? Whoever wants to go first.
Put the words on the page because you cannot edit a blank page. So just get the words out this month.
Yep.
I mean, I think that says it all. You can't edit what you haven't written.
Absolutely. Just keep on writing. Buy indie, read indie, and write indie. Keep your fingers on the keyboard and your butt in the chair because you too can become a published author. Goodbye. Thank you, ladies. Happy writing. Happy writing. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays.